Hi everyone, I'm in Siesta Key, Florida on the Gulf side, the other side of where I am. Been guided here and been guided right to that lifeguard stand again. So I'm a few hours away on the other side of the state. And I'm here to share a really powerful prayer with you. And it's something that will help for our emotional health especially, but of course when you help the emotional, it helps all levels of being. And it's such a powerful prayer. I can't tell you. You will feel divine presence, and it only takes a minute. It's so easy, and I will guide you through it. And I want to make real clear, this isn't my prayer. This is the praying medic's prayer. Dave Hayes, the praying medic, he was born Catholic, into the Catholic faith, and then he became an atheist. But then he found God. God came to him in a dream, and his life was changed forever. And being a medic for many years, God asked him to pray for his patients. And so he would do that again and again and again. But it took hundreds of times before the prayers were successful, because God was teaching him through dreams along the way. And then now he's just like, and he's been for a long time, just so successful in his prayer work. I mean, in fact, I'm going to put the link to his website below, and you can even request a prayer through him. I believe you still can, because I see testimonials still all over the place. So it was pure faith, from atheist to incredible faith in God. It's an amazing story. Dave is the guy that I talked about a couple times. One, he brought the whole penny miracle thing into my life. I won't go into the story again. I've talked about it many times, but I've created 4 videos on where you place the penny on the wall, bring in God's presence, and it'll stick indefinitely. And then he also, I learned through his work about prayer, praying with divine authority, commanding prayer, okay? And I talk about that in depth, well, a couple times, but the last one, Be Like Moses, if you haven't seen that video, I hope you will. Please check it out. It's very powerful prayer. I mean, honestly, like I've said before, I haven't been praying my whole life. I have not. You know, I'm talking to God. I mean, that is praying, but not this kind of prayer. I mean, I'm always talking to God, but this kind of prayer is very powerful. And it can not only change your life, but it can change lives of the ones you love and even strangers when you put this into practice. So this prayer is, again, about emotional healing. As we know, feelings buried alive never die. And so we have to address them. We can't just bury them, right? But once we do, and we move past a situation, those events can still stick with us, whether it's through our subconscious that runs us, or just, we can't quite let it go. And that's one thing that this prayer's for. And the way that Dave leads you through the prayer, it is for past events. But I use this often with things as they're happening. If I'm stressed, I'm worried, if I'm, all the stuff that's going on in the world, and, this is an amazing prayer to help just take off what isn't ours. This is put onto us. These are prayers that can, remove the emotions that we don't need. such as what's going on outside of us during these intense times. And this is why I especially want to share this prayer with you. In fact, I've been planning this I don't know, about a week or week and a half. When I say planning, I was literally guided to make this video. I need to put this video out there. And then it was like one thing after another. Like I get that message, and then something happens, and I say the prayer, and then I was guided to see this movie. I mean, I'd never even heard of it before, and it just kind of fell into my lap, and I was blown away. It's called the Angel Gabriel, I think. It was about this boy who goes to this town in Texas and just starts praying for everyone. It gets everyone to, this was the big part of it, getting everyone to pray and turn the whole town around. It's an incredible story, and how it ends, you find out who this boy really is. It's just a beautiful, oh, I got goosebumps thinking about it. I never heard of this movie. That I share it with you guys so that you use this in your lives if you so choose. And then that night I couldn't sleep. I went to maybe slept an hour or something. And I was up around midnight. I go check my messages, and I get a picture of a license plate that my friend sent me, and she didn't know I was going to make this video. It said pray 24/7. Here it is. And it was one thing after another. I know I'm forgetting stuff. I'm spacier than normal. I left at just after 3 in the morning, and it's a 3-hour drive. And so I didn't get much sleep. And but I was called here. I was going to create this video this weekend, and I heard no to come here. I mean, it was just very random. And but I was very guided. And Siesta Key, I talked about it in the last video, is where the hurricane hit twice. So I need to be here. I trust it. I always trust that kind of guidance, and I don't question it. I could try and reason and common sense, but I don't do that. At this point, I've never once regretted following guidance like this, so then I need to be here, and it is beautiful. I'm just going to be here today, probably sleep in the car and leave in the morning, or if I can get a nap in, I'll go back tonight. But it is a beautiful beach. It's the quartz sand. This is 99.9% quartz sand. It's unlike any beach in this country anyways. But it really is beautiful. So I'm going to speak this prayer and ask you to repeat what I'm saying. And it's so quick and easy, like I said. But I want to make it really clear. Again, it's Dave's prayer. So I'm going to put the link to Dave's prayer in the description below. And you might want to just work with him. I have no attachment. It doesn't matter to me. The main thing is this prayer gets out there. So whatever works for you is great. Just let's get these prayers out there to help yourselves through these times, your families, and even strangers, I mean, I just tell people about this prayer, and now I want to do it in a little bit bigger way. It's very hard for me to reach people these days, so I hope you'll share this. Okay, so I use the word Christ. Dave says Jesus. You use whatever name resonates. The important thing is to believe and trust. Know that this is going to help. Oh, let me just say this. So a few weeks ago, I was really shocked by something, and it was outside of me, coming from outside of me. I had no control over it. But, you know, I have a monkey mind. I've been a worrywart since I was a little girl, something I've been working on my whole life, to give it to God, give it to God, give it to God, right? But this one really got to me, and I think I slept like 30 minutes that whole first night. But I said this, and it's remembering to do this, okay? That's the big thing, because I realized, why didn't I work on this through the night, and then I could have slept. But then I did that morning, and I said the prayer. Sometimes just once does the trick, but for this I had to say it several times. But I can tell you, you guys, I have been like so detached from the situation, and I'm still like in the dark about it. Like I'm in limbo. Like, again, it's outside of me, but I'm still waiting, you know, to like deal with something. Anyways, so that I cannot tell you the difference this prayer made. I mean, I would have been still a wreck if I didn't use this prayer. I'm just being honest with you. I am very sensitive. I care deeply about people. You know, it would have really affected me a lot more than it did. And it did affect me at first a whole lot. Anyways, so I share that to just give you an example of how powerful this prayer is, okay? So, all right, without further ado, and whatever time we're starting the prayer, I'm going to note it in the description. In case you come back, you'll know exactly at, you know, so many minutes, 10 minutes, whatever, go into that point. So you could get right to the prayer and not have to listen to my preamble again. Okay, I want you to recall an event that brings up a negative emotion. And identify that emotion or emotions. And then repeat after me. Christ, I ask you to take away these emotions from me. I ask you to heal the wounds in my soul. I receive your healing. Now, how do you feel? Check in. If you still feel these emotions, let's do it again. Otherwise, think of another event and identify the emotions, and then repeat after me. Christ, I ask you to take away these emotions from me. I ask you to heal the wounds in my soul. I receive your healing. How do you feel? Now, when I'm going through an emotional time and doing this prayer, it's incredible. Right away, it's like this numbing I feel, like in my skull, like in my head. It's just like it stops me from, like there's like this wall almost blocking the thoughts that aren't serving me. Not the memory of what happened or taking it away. It's like a detachment. It's a numbing. It's incredible. I hope you feel it. It might be different for you. I mean, everyone feels differently. Everyone experiences things differently because we're all so different. But that's what happens for me. And I've had it in the past before this prayer. I know, like Mary Magdalene, Mother Mary, I'd feel their essence, and they've done that. Like when I was going through something, you know, traumatic or whatever, it's like they helped me cope. It felt like the same feeling, like a numbing. So expect to feel presence, divine presence, and know that they're helping you. If you don't have the faith, you might have to say it again and again and again, even more. And even with faith, if it's a really intense thing, like, just some impossible betrayal or deep grief, you might have to say this many times. And, but then, like I told you, my situation, honestly, this has been weeks, and I'm still detached. I'm not happy about the situation, but I'm more detached. I'm just coping because there's nothing I can do. There's absolutely nothing I can do. So I've talked about this in the past, that we can have, dark entities, demonic entities, whatever you want to call them, energies messing with us. It's part of being human. It's not something I ever wanted to address until I absolutely had to, because the more light you have, the more under attack you can be. And so we have to house clean ourselves more than our homes, more often. So basically, I'm going to use Dave's words to help command these entities out of you, if you want to participate in this. And it's very powerful because, as I said before, we can command the darkness away from us, out of us. Stop messing with us. We absolutely have that power. Just like we have power to heal ourselves. Christ didn't say, now disciples go and, beg God to heal people. No, he said, go heal people. Command it. Ask for it. Don't beg. Don't need. Don't want. Do it. Just do it. It's a whole different mind frame, and one that we're not used to, right? When I pray, I do this not to look religious and, I do this because I feel the energy, I feel the tingling in my hand, okay? So, and even when I raise the sword, it's the same thing. I can feel the tinglings. I want my hand out, and then you can feel it easier. You don't have to. I'm just saying this is what I do. Because every time I pray like this, I feel it in my hand. Again, we're all different. Okay, so I'm going to speak this to you. You don't have to repeat it. I'm going to say this prayer for you. Christ, I ask you to break the yokes of bondage. I ask you to break strongholds of addiction. I ask you to bring complete freedom and emotional healing. Christ, bring your presence for deliverance upon the people watching this video. I command evil spirits to get out, spirits of addiction to get out, spirits of sickness to get out, spirits of fear, anxiety, and worry, I command you to get out. Every evil spirit, I command you to leave right now in the name of Christ, and for light to take its place. And you can play this again, or same on Dave's video, same thing, just play it again and again if you need to, if you feel you're being messed with, if you feel like you have thoughts that aren't yours, you're not acting like yourself, you're done a 180 in the way you normally would act, you might be having some kind of entity interference, and you just command it, you just stay powerful over it. You're in power. You're the captain of your ship. You can command it out of you. And you could also ask someone else to do it for you, or go to Dave's video or this video. Whatever works, whatever feels right for you. Okay, that's all that I care about. We are being bombarded on all levels of our being. Physical, mental, emotional, spiritual, in these crazy times. But keeping our emotional health is so important, to not go into fear, with this drone thing and all. We have to keep our faith, and when we walk close with God, we'll be okay. We have to trust that. Walk close with God. I've talked about this many times. Walk with God, make right with God, ask for forgiveness, have a clean, clear heart, and show unconditional love and forgiveness. And honestly, it's life-altering when we really get close to God. I feel like He's waiting for more of us to go to God and trust Him through these really difficult times. Because if we let our emotions get away and we go into fear, that's food for the dark, and then they win, and we don't want them to win. We can do this. We are just so watched over. On December 12th, 12/12, most of you, or many of you, know the meaning of that. For me, my connection with Archangel Michael, 12/12, my company name, 12/12. So 12/12 is a powerful day in and of itself. And it's a very special day with Archangel Michael, and this recent 12/12, he gave me a message, as he usually does, for everyone, and I'm going to post it right here. A beautiful message. And I then soon after went to the water for my walk, and I was just thinking about the power of unconditional love. It's so powerful when you really experience that feeling. I've never experienced it like I have in recent years. Loving no matter what, no matter how hurt or upset or whatever, to still hold that love for someone is so powerful. And I was thinking about that, and like so grateful that I've learned this. I'm not perfect, of course, but I know that feeling, and it's a beautiful feeling to stay above a situation, have that higher perspective, and still hold the love in your heart, and no change to that love. So I was thinking about that, and I look up, and it's like a clear sky. We've had the worst trails, by the way. It's been horrible all around the whole country. It's been really bad. But but that morning it was a beautiful blue sky, except just a few clouds, like right by the sun. And within that little bit was a little inverted heart cloud. Just then. And I was thinking about Archangel Michael's message too, which is how the heavens are here to help us, and they're sending us love messages. And it's like, oh my gosh, right after giving that message, I see the heart, and then I get in the car, and I'm gonna go to fill up my gas tank, and just before getting there, my odometer's all ones except for a 5. And then me and numbers, and many of you too. And so I go to the gas station. I opened the door, and I knew which pump to go to. And I opened the door, and right at my foot is a rose. And I cannot tell you how much rose symbolism has been in my life just around that time. Just before, like a couple days before, it was incredible. Like Mary Magdalene especially, and Mother Mary. She was so in my consciousness. And the rose signs were all day, such as this. I mean, I happened upon this sword and 2 red rose symbolism with 12 times 12 equals 144,000. I mean, right before 1212. Here's the image. So I was pretty excited about that. But here I'm at a gas station of all places. There's this perfect rose. Like, are you kidding? And so I went to the pump and I heard to watch the numbers. And I just knew like something profound was going to come up. But, I couldn't imagine what it was. And I don't go under a half tank since 2020. I just always keep it halfway full at least. So anyways, I'm watching. I can't wait to see, and I always let it automatically stop because there's often a numerical symbolism. $28.88. So that was just the start of my day, but it was all validating what Archangel Michael had just told us. We are not going through all of this alone. We have so much love and help. Okay, so I'm back from my trip and I'm gonna fill up my tank. First time since the Rose, which isn't here anymore. Same pump. Here's the driver's side. Get out of my car right at my foot. And every single day there is such beauty to embrace. And it could be so simple, but it can be so profound too, and just shift the energy of a whole day, It's like I just couldn't believe how, right after that message, I go to the water and it's just all this love coming at me. Just validating his message. And it wasn't just for me, it's for you guys, because he knows I'm going to share. He knows I'm going to share this to show he really means it. And I know many of you know exactly what I'm sharing. I'm just sharing this as an example and a reminder to stay strong and to trust and have faith and really look for those messages. I could have easily not made connections on all these things and it wouldn't have been as meaningful. We have to make the connections, and then it's just extraordinary. The bottom line is the elites, the billionaires, the multimillionaires, they're not going to save us. We are being deceived, and it doesn't matter right or left. It's just a whole different way. One was very obvious how dark, and the other one is as dark, but it's in a sneakier way, subtle. In fact, looking like they're going to save the world, they're going to save our health, they're going to save the food, they're going to save this, everything. All these things we've been waiting for. They're all of a sudden telling us all these truths, and all of a sudden they're going to fix everything, and the wars are going to stop, and all this, and I know, some things will happen, but you have to, it's like, what is going on as they're doing this? What's going on over here? As they're distracting us with the drones, what bill are they pushing on the other side? We have to be cognizant and not give in to this strong delusion that these elites are going to save us. Everything I've said in my prior videos. I feel even stronger. Like, I cannot tell you, like, I really have no doubt now of what is going on. And this is all about choosing, ultimately, the light, choosing God, that God will save us. We all have to do our part. We all have to do our part, and we have to expose and some of us are transmuting the darkness. We all have different roles, but we at least have to be aware and know the truth, because, as I always say, truth saves lives. But we can't get, too many truthers are complacent and just now trusting that is going to save us. I'm telling you guys, they're putting it right out there. It's the dark way. They have to tell you what they're going to do, and they're telling us what they're going to do. And if you want more information, as I always say, feel free to write me through my website. But there's no denying. There's some very, very concerning things happening that to me are so obvious now. Like, it just all of a sudden everything switched. But things are getting really intense, and we need to be on our toes, but with God. I just have to add that I saw that when I was just finishing up, I saw that white vehicle stop by, and the timing was amazing because it's a lifeguard and it's white, and it's just basically about saving, the same theme again and again and again. It's a lifeguard vehicle. Arriving, like when I'm talking about this, that we will be saved. And it's not by these deceiving humans that are not who we think. They are not who we think. So I just, when I was talking, the very last part of my message, I had seen that white vehicle come up, and I stopped the video when I thought I was done, and it says lifeguard. It's a lifeguard truck. Again, that lifeguard, how many signs have I had? And it came right at the end to push that message home, that God will save us. We need to trust and have faith. Walk close with God. Bring God into everything. Pray, pray, pray. Okay, so have to cut into my own video again because on that topic of getting the message to make this video, and suddenly, prayer, pray, share this prayer video, etc., was suddenly in my face. I gotta do this. There was no question. Also at that time, my friend unexpectedly had to go to the hospital and was there for a bit of a stay, and it wasn't minor, but she's doing amazing. But the thing is, she's this really strong, special lady, but I did send her the prayer, even though she was handling everything well. I said, if you get stressed, this prayer will help you, just kind of, and you'll feel, Christ's presence. And, so she did, the timing of it. See, like that came up, and then, she has so many people that love her, and so many of us were praying so much, for the right hospital, the right surgeon, all that. Well, it turns out that she had her surgery, and the surgeon actually said, I would like to pray for you. Will you pray with me? Oh my gosh. That's just amazing. I'm not that I'm surprised that a surgeon would do that, but how beautiful is that? And then it went great, and she's feeling better than ever. It's just an amazing story. This whole message of prayer is coming up big time now. We need to connect with God and trust Him. And this was a great testimony to that, the power of prayer.